Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This is NXT. You get the feeling that there's kind of the calm before the storm around here on this brand, that maybe, just maybe, something big is about to happen as we tip the scales fast towards NXT Takeover Chicago. Now, about 4 weeks away, maybe? 3.5 weeks I think would technically be the right way of saying it, but nevertheless it is going to be another interesting night of NXT action. And I said about tipping the scales, well, Edge has got some big news that could tip the scale in regards to the ongoing investigation about the attack on Lio Rush many months back. Edge says he has found a breakthrough in it. Edge says he believes he knows the culprit, and in an impromptu version of the cutting edge here tonight, he's going to bring that man out and accuse him. While that may certainly be interesting in its own right, it is not the only thing for us to focus on here tonight. A great main event lined up as well. Cesaro will go one-on-one in non-title action against the NXT Global Champion, Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne, of course, does not know his #1 contender, but he also doesn't care about it. Cesaro could well be that #1 contender if he's victorious here tonight. And we'll see if the talks of #1 contender will kick off this episode of NXT, as we are going to hear from the sheriff of NXT, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Any second now, he will have some news for us, I imagine, regarding titles and Takeover and whatever else Steve Austin may have up his sleeve. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this whole night of NXT as per usual, and I think it is time for the sheriff to come out. And here he is. Stone Cold Steve Austin makes his way out into the Hammerstein Ballroom, and like I said, you know, I'm hoping for some big information. I'm hoping for some good Takeover stuff, because, like, you know, we're 3.5 weeks out from Takeover, and we know nothing, is the nicest way of putting it. We don't know anything for any titles, and we don't know if Lio Rush is going to be getting his revenge, and who it will be on. We don't know anything about NXT Takeover right now. You know, whereas we know stuff about Money in the Bank, which is the night after NXT Takeover. But then again, we know, like, 2 matches, which is the World Heavyweight Championship and the Money in the Bank ladder match. Potentially 3. But then again, you know, that's just me bringing up hyperboles. That's 3 rosters versus 1, so don't worry about that one. Anyway, let's see. Stone Cold Steve Austin has taken in his reaction from the Hammerstein crowd, and now we'll have his say on whatever it is Austin is going to talk about, and he's on about the road beginning towards Chicago. What a night that the NXT brand wanted to be, and they wanted to be up there with the level that they've had in previous takeovers. And while they don't have a final card right now set in stone, they do have big news for us, which, as I said, you know, is something that we needed, and I'm very, very happy that that is the case. Steve Austin, of course, bringing across the point there. If you're excited for this news, give him a hell yeah. Well, I'm certainly excited, so let me know. You know, going on about last week, the NXT Global Championship situation, maybe. Shelton Benjamin attacking No Way Jose and Dean Ambrose. And as much as Stone Cold Steve Austin found that disrespectful, he found that the balls and the guts within Shelton Benjamin were indeed commendable. And as a result of that, he'll get his chance here tonight in that triple threat match between Benjamin, Ambrose, and No Way Jose. The winner is going to get Pete Dunne at TakeOver Chicago, so 100% to do with the NXT Global Championship. And now on to the NXT Women's Championship. Stone Cold has got his eyes set on that as well, talking about how there's been nothing but chaos down there. Probably greater than the extent that we've seen in the NXT Global Championship. And if it's chaos that we're going to have, it's chaos that we'll get. At TakeOver Chicago, Kairi Sane will defend her championship against Tessa, Blanchard, Jazzy Gabert, and Charlotte in a fatal 4-way matchup. That is a pretty big, that's a pretty huge lump of information to drop there right to the end. And Stone Cold saying there's a lot on its way here tonight on NXT. It's going to kick some ass as it always does, and the young kids are going to put a smile on his face. Except for one. Gee, take a guess who that may be. He's not even here tonight, and Stone Cold can't even help but bring it up. And that's the bottom line, though, because Stone Cold said so. Wow. Talk about some big news for us. By the end of tonight, we'll have 2 matches confirmed for NXT TakeOver Chicago. Well, we already have 1 confirmed. Jazzy Gabert, Tessa Blanchard of Trifecta will take on Kairi Sane and Charlotte in a fatal 4-way. That's going to be a very interesting one. Some allegiances, some allies, some friendships could well be torn apart on that night in Chicago. And Pete Dunne is set on finding out his #1 contender later on tonight. Stone Cold certainly did a number. Well, how about that for some big news to kick things off here on NXT. I certainly was not expecting that to happen, but wow. A lot of news there from the NXT Sheriff. Fatal 4-way at NXT TakeOver Chicago involving two of those women there of Trifecta, Tessa Blanchard and Jazzy Gabert, against Charlotte and, of course, the NXT Women's Champion, Kairi Sane. It's going to be an intense Fatal 4-way when TakeOver Chicago rolls around. And that triple threat match tonight to determine the #1 contender to Pete Dunne's NXT Global Championship in Chicago. All very interesting indeed. Where what will we end up with? Coming out of Chicago? I'm not too sure, but if everything goes the way they want it to for Trifecta, they could very well end up with the NXT Women's Championship. But tonight, they'd like to end up with a win over this woman, Charlotte, who, of course, was one half of the side who fell foul to the attack from Kairi Sane, Jazzy Gabert, during her match with Kairi Sane last week. It was a great main event them two were having, and you see there, Sane has come out with her opponent. There is the respect between those two women. But, they were having their very entertaining match. It was a great match, make no mistake about it. And then, just as things seemed to be building up towards a climactic ending, Jazzy Gabert came in and ruined everything. She kind of left Charlotte be, though. She chose not to attack her that much. She chose to just kind of... she flattened her, let's make no mistake about it, but the real brunt of the offense, it pretty much all went to the NXT Women's Champion. Kairi Sane was hit with that double-handed choke bomb, and then the Omega Slam that followed up after it, whereas Charlotte was kind of left to be. I'm not pointing fingers, I'm just saying that I think it was kind of weird that Charlotte was left out in that way. Maybe Trifecta didn't want to think about it, and now that she's been added to the Fatal 4-way match, they have no choice. And here we go, we're underway in this one to get things started on NXT. Charlotte side headlock to Tessa Blanchard, transitions there into an arm hold of some sort. Be interesting to see how both women will go about starting things off here tonight. There's a lot on the line for these two women now, as they know. NXT TakeOver Chicago just 3 and a bit weeks away, 4 and a bit weeks away, probably 4 and a bit weeks away. Would probably be more accurate, but will it be 3 and a bit weeks away? I think it's 3 and a bit. Nevertheless, yeah, it is crucial that these two women get a big win under their belt here on the road to that match, and of course on the road to trying to take that title away from Kairi Sane. Make no mistake about it, Charlotte and Kairi Sane may well be allies here tonight, but when June 16th rolls around at TakeOver Chicago, they will not be. They will be rivals for that title. And you never know, the same may apply to Trifecta. It could well be the case that Jazzy Gabert and Tessa Blanchard are going to fight it out for that belt as well. All depends on what happens. Tessa Blanchard anyways taking an early lead in this one. The leader of Trifecta trying to make sure that things are going her way from the start. As she calls Charlotte up to her feet here. This one could be a big drop kick, but no. Charlotte moves out of the way. What a night of NXT action we do have on its way, to be fair. Big match here tonight in the main event between the NXT Global Champion Pete Dunne, who will have found his #1 contender out just moments beforehand, as he's going to take on Cesaro, who's been doing nothing but getting things back to the way they were here in NXT, which you got to commend for him as well. That has been a priority of his, I imagine, and he's been striking on it immensely. Lovely neck breaker there by Charlotte, and look who's getting involved from last week. The alpha female choosing to get up on the apron and have a war of words with Charlotte. Probably not the wisest decision you could make with Trifecta at ringside. And Tessa Blanchard makes her pay with that German suplex. But Charlotte able to fight back as well. Overhead suplex there, and now Charlotte will head up to the top rope. Something big could be on its way here. Tessa Blanchard unable to respond. Oh, Charlotte took too long though, and the splash just simply did not connect. Snapmare takedown there. Jazzy Gabbard has slid in a steel chair meanwhile. And a big lariat will floor Tessa Blanchard. She did hit that chair on the way down. Whether or not that hurt her, we don't know. Uh-oh. She may have something big in mind. Oh! Facebuster there. Charlotte rolling outside of the ring. It's like she knows what Tessa Blanchard wants to plan, you know. Like father, like daughter, I believe the correct term would be for that one. Big boot in the face there of Tessa Blanchard. And the steel chair is not going to be used, but Tessa Blanchard could still well have a good amount of control in this one. Nice cutter there. Cover now by Blanchard, but Charlotte's still able to kick out relatively early on. Both these women going back and forth with one another. Neither one really able to have control for too long over the other here. Uh-oh. Snake eyes in the corner by Blanchard. The numbers advantage certainly is helping. Single underhook DDT there. And Tessa Blanchard will take herself up to that top rope. You know what she's looking for. She's looking for the move to close this one out. She's looking to be victorious over Charlotte right here, right now, from up high. Looking for it. Magnum! And the cover, but Kairi Sane slips to the levels of Trifecta. And chooses to get herself up on the apron and save her temporary ally. And was that the advantage that Charlotte needed? She slips herself out of that one there. Spear by Charlotte, connected with it. And Charlotte has Blanchard in the middle of the ring and sees a glorious opportunity to close out with victory here. She's got the figure four locked in. And she transitions into that figure eight. Tessa Blanchard may well have nowhere to go. Trifecta can only watch on. The referee waiting for that tap. Will the submission be on its way? Yes, it will. Blanchard taps out to the figure eight. Charlotte wins, but give big assistance. Give a big, huge assist on that one to Kairi Sane for choosing to get involved when she did, for choosing to play the games of Trifecta against them, and it proved pivotal to Charlotte's victory here. So the latest addition to the NXT women's roster is making some moves for herself as she heads towards the fatal four-way match at Chicago. However, there are two women, of course, on the outside who did not have their say. Well, both had their say, but neither have had their hands on each other yet, as much as they would like it seems, after what we saw last week. Charlotte, however, could be called the favorite, but honestly, it's too early to say anyone's the favorite heading into Chicago right now. Make no mistake about it, though, when that fatal four-way does happen, it's going to be pretty big, and whoever wins it is going to have to, they're going to have to put all their fight together in order to pull that off. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next contest here. Should be a pretty interesting matchup, in all fairness. First time we've seen this guy in action for a few weeks. It is KUSHIDA, and he's going to be going one-on-one against Pentagon Jr. Last time KUSHIDA was in action here in NXT was in that very entertaining matchup against the Velveteen Dream, where KUSHIDA lost by the absolute skin of his teeth. Not because, Velveteen Dream bested him or Velveteen Dream was the better competitor on the night, but because Velveteen Dream simply got lucky. He rolled him up and he got the 3 count and he walked away with a W. Velveteen Dream still undefeated. He showed that last week as well with his victory over Titus O'Neil. KUSHIDA seems finally ready to have his response against Pentagon Jr. A man looking to break that duck, of course, that is his losing streak as of late. Pentagon Jr. looking to recover from it. It's been tough for him to bounce back from. And now he needs to do his very, very best in order to make sure that, he can bounce back, he can get wins, and just things can happen for him, It's as simple as that. Who did he lose to last week? Because he definitely picked up another loss, I believe. Oh, it was over Leo Rush. That was right. There's apparently going to be something on that later on tonight. I think I covered it. I did cover it at the start of the show. Of course, Edge is going to have some breaking evidence, I guess, in regards to into what we're going to see. Into the attack on Leo Rush, rather. He's got some breaking information on it. So I imagine Pentagon Jr. was cleared, considering it probably wasn't him anyway to begin with. That was just Lio Rush needing someone to beat. So that'll be pretty interesting. But nevertheless, here is Kushida. Come out to the ring here, ready to try and make his response maybe to the Velveteen Dream from last week. Wonder how that loss has played on Kushida's mind. You know, it was... because it was a close match. Up until that point, it was so close. It was still close pretty much when that 3 count got hit. Velveteen Dream just got incredibly lucky, and Kushida simply just couldn't get the shoulder up in time. So it's not like, you know, it was all sealed and wrapped up, I guess, for Velveteen Dream when it comes to Kushida. I still think there is plenty more to go between these two guys, you know. Kushida could well be the one to end the undefeated streak that the Velveteen Dream has going for him. Let's just put that in your mind for a second. That could happen. There is a probable chance that something along those lines could happen. If Dream could only just by the skin of his teeth walk out with a victory over Kushida, what's to say that, you know, Kushida, someone who was, you know, known as the, I guess you would call him the ace of the junior heavyweight division, is what he was kind of unofficially coined as. You know, what would... how quickly would Kushida learn? What the fuck is it with all these cutscenes as of late? Well, you know, I'm making hypotheticals because I don't know if a rematch is actually going to take place. So, we'll see about that. But right now, Pentagon Jr. and Kushida are going to lock horns here tonight on NXT. Colin Taya. Pentagon Jr., of course, desperate to get that losing streak away from him now. I've pretty much lost count of how many he's lost in a row. Feels like it's about 4. No, it's probably even more than 4. Scrap that. It's got to be near 10. Now that I truly think about it, it's got to be near 10. You have Lio Rush, Pete Dunne. Who else in recent weeks? Maybe one I'm slipping on. There's definitely one I'm slipping on right now who defeated him a few weeks ago. It's just been loss after loss, racking up for Pentagon Jr. Things need to change around sooner rather than later for him, or he is in big trouble. And he's trying to change things around right now against Kushida. That was a vicious flurry of strikes. Counters Kushida's attempted German suplex as well, and Kushida may now be in a bit of trouble. Pentagon Jr. getting all sorts of riled up there. Double knees into the gut now. Uh-oh. This one could be interesting. Held up in a powerbomb position. The lighter Kushida is in big trouble. Running buckle bomb into the turnbuckle there. Vicious move by Pentagon Jr. And look at how he's going to follow it up here. Vertebreaker! But Kushida trying to bring himself up to his feet. That is... to be fair, is pretty ballsy from the time split up at all. Running, hesitation, drop kick in the corner there. And look at how Kushida's arms are stretched back by Pentagon Jr. trying to put the most amount of wear into him that he can, but Kushida able to fight back. And here he goes now, flurry of strikes, they're connecting, single underhook suplex, and Pentagon Jr. goes over. Kushida now, standing moonsault, hit that one very nicely indeed, goes for the cover here on Pentagon Jr., but it's a kick out at 1 to deny the opportunity for victory just yet. And perhaps a little bit of a, I've still got it towards Velveteen Dream. Pentagon Jr. in trouble, a pop-up. Oh, the fastball punch even attempted by Kushida there. Countered. Counter in response though. Dropkick brings Pentagon Jr. back down. He was trying. He really is trying to close things out here. Kushida is, you know, like I said, he's given up so much weight that maybe Pentagon Jr. could close in on a victory. And he certainly feels like he can as he heads up to the top rope here. Thinking something big. Oh, double foot stomp into the gut of Kushida there. And into the cover now goes Pentagon Jr. Will it close it out? It will not. Strikes here again, though. Oh, countered by Kushida. That kick was getting nowhere. Discus forearm. And Pentagon Jr. goes down. Kushida now needs to get a flurry of strikes go in so that Pentagon Jr. can go down and stay down. Because the longer this match goes on, the more, the ever more it will play to the favor of Pentagon Jr. Armbar here applied. Cross armbar locked in here on Pentagon Jr. He tapped out, if I remember rightly, a few weeks ago. And he doesn't look like he wants to do it again. Pentagon Jr. powering his way out there. He does a good job of getting himself out of it. However, KUSHIDA still has him locked in here. Nasty knee in the face. And uh-oh, he has him. KUSHIDA back to the future. And a cover on Pentagon Jr. with 2 and 3. KUSHIDA back to winning ways. The time splitter is victorious here in NXT. And that is something that he can be happy with. KUSHIDA did a good job there. Like I said, that was something that he needed. He needed to get back. He needed to get his bounce back going on there, and he certainly did it. Pentagon Jr. tried to stop him, but that just was not going to happen. KUSHIDA victorious. Velveteen Dream might want to keep his wits about him here because, I keep on drawing up this hypothetical, but I'm drawing it up because it seems very likely, if I'm telling the truth. KUSHIDA, though, is the winner. And I wonder what will happen in regards to that. In regards to himself going forward. We'll see. I like KUSHIDA. Just need him to get a bit more going for himself. And a revenge victory over the Velveteen Dream could certainly be that for him. Anyway, we're going to move on to our next contest here. For the first time in a long time, we're going to be seeing a specific member of Sanity in action. That is Sawyer Fulton. However, his opponent has been a man who's been on a roll since Takeover Orlando, and that is Tyler Bate. Alright, let's see how this one will go for him. It's going to be interesting for Sawyer Fulton to be in action for the first time in a while. Of course, while his fellow Sanity members have been out there winning tag team titles, Sawyer Fulton's just been kind of standing there, Kind of the nicest thing to say about him. He didn't really have much of an involvement when American Alpha and Sanity were at their blows with one another. And I'm curious as to whether or not he's been able to bounce back from that, I guess. Whether or not he's been able to recover and if he can just go full steam ahead. Sawyer Fulton, nevertheless, seems ready and geared up for this matchup against Tyler Bate. And as you can see, he also comes out alone, which is pretty interesting. I guess the other members of Sanity, or more specifically the leader of Sanity, Eric Young, wants to see how he can cope on his own. Which I guess in its own way doesn't, make sense. So that could be very interesting in that sense. But I just wonder if Sawyer Fulton maybe needs them at ringside. If he needs the chaos that Sanity can bring to a matchup to help him here against Tyler Bate. Because, he may well be strong at 300 pounds. He may well be tall. But Tyler Bate has proven before that it doesn't matter how tall you are, how big you are. Tyler Bate is able to find a way to, overcome you and generally just, get there. Get that victory when it matters most. At Takeover Orlando, he overcame the second longest reigning ECW champion of all time, the third longest reigning world champion of all time in Michael Bennett, and he did it definitively. Since then, Bate's been picking up some wins here and there, and he's continuing to keep his momentum flowing, heading towards whatever is next for him. Whether that is a title shot, whether that is maybe it could be another assumption being made by me that could be too early to call, but maybe a win here for Bate tonight could have something to do with a potential NXT championship shot at Takeover Chicago. Kind of too tough to tell in that regard. If that is actually going to be the case or not, because we don't know, is the simple truth. We just don't know. We don't know what's going on with that title. It was only 2 weeks ago that it was defended in that big rematch between Corin and Hiroshi Tanahashi, which of course Corin walked out victorious from. But could Tyler Bate be the next challenger for here tonight by defeating Sawyer Fulton? Who knows? But I think Bate takes every match as it comes. He's not thinking, by X date I want to be champion, or by X date I want to challenge for a title. Bate is just happy to be in action, happy to be in front of the Hammerstein crowd, and the Hammerstein crowd reciprocate that with their reaction to Tyler Bate week in and week out. So let's see what will happen in this one. So Fulton ready to go. So too is Tyler Bate. I wonder how the... Like I said, I wonder how the smaller Bate will be able to overcome Sawyer Fulton here. Oh, that did not go well for him from the off there. Big time spine buster. And Fulton using his strength, but a hard forearm brought him down to the mat. And here goes Tyler Bate, perhaps relying upon something that could favor him the best, which is his strikes. But Sawyer Fulton just vicious in his work on Tyler Bate. Those shots already dragging Bate to the outside. They're clinging onto the apron. Is Tyler Bate. Oh, looking for something there, but it's countered. Bate with a forearm in the face. Goes up to the top rope now. Better be quick. Fulton's moving. Clothesline there. Brings Sawyer Fulton back down. And Tyler Bate, well aware that he's not going to be able to slam Sawyer Fulton to the mat. He's going to have to use his tricks that he's got up his sleeve in order to bring him down to the mat. Bate now kicking away at Sawyer Fulton, but nasty kick in the thigh there. And immediately Sawyer Fulton can return to control with it. I wonder, is this a performance test for Sawyer Fulton as well? Is it vital that he gets the win? Prove himself to Sanity, prove himself to Eric Young more importantly. Is it vital for him to do that? And that's why he's been given the task here of facing Tyler Bate. We saw the other two members of Sanity in singles action against Hiroshi Tanahashi a few weeks ago, and they came up on the short end of the stick, in all fairness. But when it comes to tag team action, let's make no mistake about it, Sanity probably the best team in NXT, and those tag team titles prove that to be the case. What a face buster there, though, to Tyler Bate. That was vicious by Fulton, who really has been, in his own way, leading the way in this matchup. Nice counter there, though. And Bate able to respond now with some moves of his own, maybe. Looked like he wanted to duck under Fulton there. He just walked into his arm. Irish whip now by Fulton. Bate reverses it. Irish whip. And is able to get Fulton off his feet with his own strength. Tyler Bate calling Sawyer Fulton up to his feet now. From the top, he'll fly again. And this time Fulton read it and was able to counter. So Fulton in for the cover now on Tyler Bate, but Bate's still able to kick out early enough. Make no mistake about it, Fulton's been pretty vicious in this matchup so far. Good counter though by Bate there, and Crucifix will bring down Sawyer Fulton, who now in his own right will roll out to the apron here. Oh, Tyler Bate, though, not going to give him any time to recover. And unlike Sawyer Fulton, he's not going to get countered either. Neck breaker there. Use the ropes to hold him in that. Good stuff from Tyler Bate as he keeps on going here now. He's starting to get fired up. Yes, step up enziguri in the corner to Sawyer Fulton. And this is where Bate can excel. His ability to chain moves together and keep on going. Backbreaker, Russian leg sweep. Let's see what else Tyler Bate can coin together here. Oh, ducks under. Look at that snap German suplex. The complete power there from Tyler Bate to pull off something like that over the big man that is Sawyer Fulton. Bate now lines himself up in the middle of the ring and waits to potentially close this one out. Sawyer Fulton hit with a Tyler driver. And Bate goes into the cover. Will this be enough for victory? No, it won't. And you could tell that Sawyer Fulton did his best to fight out there. Oh, God. Pump handle back suplex to Tyler Bate. What a response from Sawyer Fulton. Oh, what a splash by Fulton as well. Good God, this is getting vicious now between these two guys. I gotta say that is the case. And Bate again will go back to that jawbreaker there on Fulton. Will actually bust him open a little bit with it. What does Tyler Bate have to do to try and close out this match now? He needs to keep on going with his strikes. That's the pretty simple reality of it all. But Sawyer Fulton responding with one of his own, knee in the face there. Uh-oh. Pump handle. No. Counter by Bate. And a great counter at that. And I think this is where, as I was saying about Bate, this is something where he truly excels at. The longer a match goes on, the more Bate finds himself being able to pull off. The more Bate finds within him to lead him towards victory. Oh, just launched himself there at... Well, launched his body, essentially, at Sawyer Fulton in the turnbuckle. Fulton looking for some kind of backbreaker. And again, just the ability from Tyler Bate to slip out of the move just goes to show how much awareness he has in his reading of the game. Tyler Bate ducks under. And another snap German suplex leaves Sawyer Fulton in a heap. Tyler Bate hoping it's enough for victory. He may well have exhausted himself with that snap German suplex, but it's not enough because Fulton still kicks out. And not only that, but Fulton is bringing himself up to his feet here. Though Bate decides not for much longer. Kick in the gut here. And a second Tyler driver should finish it. Look at that. Even enough power within him to transition in midair, so he was nowhere near the ropes. Cover by Bate. 1, 2, and again Fulton kicks out. Tyler Bate does not look best pleased about this, and he's going to try and settle things now his own way. Look at this, he's got a submission locked in here on Fulton. Chin lock applied, and with all the blood that Sawyer Fulton is having dripping from his head, this could be pivotal towards causing the submission. No. Oh no. Oh no, the gut-wrench suplex there from Sawyer Fulton. After all that Fulton's taken, the strength that he executes to hit that gut-wrench suplex could end it here. There's 1, 2, and oh, Bate kicks out as well. Bate keeps fighting. Uppercut. These two men are just going back and forth with one another, and another spine buster. They would have expected this to be the barn burner that it has become. Oh, Sawyer Fulton just walked around him there for a second before deciding to hit that. Fulton's been proving himself against this tough opponent, but Bate must be enraged that after 2 Tyler drivers, he still hasn't found the ability within him to close this one out. And you can tell that Bate is getting tired. I know I said he excels the longer a match goes on, but it is exhausting when you're giving up as much weight as Bate is, when all you have to do is just keep on fighting. Bate going to look for that chin lock again, really hoping that the submission can be his closing. Will that be the case? It will! Wow! A submission victory out of nowhere for Tyler Bate over Sawyer Fulton. That may not sit well with the other members of Sanity. A big win there for Tyler Bate, but here comes Sanity! Here come the tag team champions! Eric Young and Killian Dane from behind, attacking Tyler Bate after the bell. Sawyer Fulton with one final shot. For what reason did they need to ground Tyler Bate like that? Wow, that loss really didn't sit well with Sanity, I guess, and took it out on Tyler Bate. 3-on-1 beatdown of Bate there. Unnecessary, yes, but that's the way Sanity likes to operate, and we've almost become accustomed to that over these last few months that Sanity have been around. Nevertheless, we've got to move on in this one, and move on we shall, because it is time to determine the number 1 contender to the NXT Global Championship. Time to see who will face Pete Dunne at Takeover Chicago. Dean Ambrose is out first. In case you didn't see what happened last week, Dean Ambrose and No Way Jose were scheduled to have a one-on-one match with each other. There was no number 1 contendership on the line. It was just meant to be a one-on-one match. But then as Ambrose was making his way down to the ring, he was shoved into the stairs by none other than this man, who then ran in the ring and went right for No Way Jose, striking him down and hitting the pay dirt on him to stand tall at the end of the match. Well, as we heard earlier tonight, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the sheriff of NXT, that did not sit well with him and the general manager, as they decided that something had to be done about it. But because of Benjamin's actions and the fact that he had got people talking, he was granted what he wanted, and that was a championship opportunity. We'll see if Shelton Benjamin can make the most of it, though. It's a triple threat match, as I said. It's anyone's game. It's no disqualification, no countouts, and Obviously, Benjamin may well be public enemy number 1 because he's got 2 guys after him in this one who want that opportunity. And here comes the man who, certainly on paper at least, when it comes to NXT itself, may well have the greatest claim to it. No Way Jose. He had his big win at TakeOver Orlando, but all 3 of these guys in their own way have a reason for why they want to get back. Those NXT, for why they want to get that shot, rather, at the NXT Global Championship. Dean Ambrose has it because it's a chance to revitalize his career. Ambrose came down to NXT. I sent him down from ECW because simple reason being that Ambrose just wasn't cutting it. That was what happened for him. It's a great chance for him to revitalize his career. Shelton Benjamin is, as he said, he's given so much to NXT week in and week out, and he doesn't feel as if he's ever rewarded for it. That is a pretty fair statement for Benjamin to make, but as I've said before, if you're not getting victories, does it really matter in that regard? How much effort you put in. No Way Jose, of course, as I just said, picked up his big win at TakeOver Orlando in a Falls Count Anywhere match against Big Cass. And Jose's been on a roll since then. And in his own right as well is going to want revenge over Shelton Benjamin for what happened last week. Because it's not like Dean Ambrose was the only one attacked and left laying. That pay dirt planted. No Way Jose in the middle of the ring. And I wonder what Benjamin's going to do, knowing that he's arch rival number 1 in this one. Of course, only 1 pinfall is needed to become the number 1 contender. And as Pete Dunne said last week, he doesn't care who wins this one. Anyone is going to meet their bitter end. So he did have his own little bit lined up for No Way Jose. And Shelton Benjamin getting a hard knee in the back to start things off. But look at how Dean Ambrose just doesn't seem to care about Shelton Benjamin. He had his eyes locked on No Way Jose for a second there. And Jose getting underway here with some quick shots. Double. Don't really know. Oh my goodness. Didn't even get time to think about what the other move was before Shelton Benjamin was brought down by that big time clothesline. Things getting underway pretty quick here in this one. Who will become the number 1 contender to the NXT Global Championship is the question. And right now, Dean Ambrose is starting to fight back. Starting to get this match underway, rather, with a lot of quick strikes. Shelton Benjamin getting the cusp of most, and no surprise there after what he did to Ambrose last week. Shelton Benjamin now slammed down onto the mat, though, courtesy of No Way Jose. And here goes Jose now. The strikes once again, this time for Shelton Benjamin, and that wind-up punch sends him down, and we get the match we were supposed to get last week in the ring right now. Michinoku driver by Dean Ambrose sends Jose into the mat there. Going after the eyes there, I believe, was Dean Ambrose. Reverse T-bone suplex. As Benjamin recovers on the outside now and is up to his feet. No Way Jose moves out of the way and brings Shelton Benjamin back down. The moment he gets in the ring, Ambrose goes down as well. Jose coming back with a lot of fight here in this triple threat. But Benjamin moves out of the way there. Good for Benjamin to evade that move, and now the shots raining down on No Way Jose. The leader of the Conga Party is in trouble. And he's going to go to the outside now, leaving us with Benjamin and Ambrose in the ring here. Benjamin going to go into the cover, hoping it's enough, but it is not. Kick out at 1 there, denies the chance for Shelton Benjamin to become the number 1 contender. Dean Ambrose slips out of that triangle hold there, and he's back up to his feet now, back in control. Power bomb, and down goes Shelton Benjamin, but No Way Jose has returned to the ring here. Jawbreaker there, and a hard one at that. But a big-time shoulder tackle will bring Dean Ambrose down to the mat as No Way Jose comes back now once again at Dean Ambrose with a lot of strength to him. Suplex, floats over into a cover, hoping it's enough to make him the number 1 contender. That's not happening. Ambrose will roll out to the ring, and Benjamin is going to send No Way Jose out of the ring here. No, he's not. Jose able to get back up and back in. Trading forearms in the ring now of both men. T-bone suplex, though, by Benjamin. And Shelton Benjamin senses something within him here. It's the chance to become number 1 contender. Pay dirt by Benjamin. Ambrose in, however. And he had to abort that attempted pinfall. Now back up to his feet. There's no way Jose. Courtesy of Dean Ambrose. Oh, there's that lariat again to bring Ambrose down. No way Jose starting to get fired up here. Benjamin, though, able to counter. And again with that T-bone suplex. It's almost like it's about to repeat itself here. Exactly the same way as before. Benjamin this time won't get pay dirt. Jose not going to allow it. And the strength of No Way Jose there shining through. Overhead belly to belly there. And Benjamin goes down. And Jose goes right after Dean Ambrose now, knowing that he's going to have them both down if he wants to become number one contender. Here come the strikes again from No Way Jose. Clattering them all. In the corner goes Ambrose, and he's brought down with a hard shoulder tackle. Oh, Benjamin. Double drop kick in the back. Look at how No Way Jose is going here. Jose trying to do everything to become number one contender. He feels it within him. Surging through his veins is that thought of the title match at Takeover Chicago. Into the corner now. No Way Jose perhaps getting derailed. Perhaps being shown the stop sign on his momentum. But Ambrose and Benjamin now going to square off again here on their feet. Look at that belly to belly by Shelton Benjamin. Absolute pinpoint precise. And Ambrose will roll outside of the ring. Cover here. Will this put him away? It will not. Nasty drop kick to the back there. And a submission hold is applied here. Dean Ambrose rushing himself up to his feet just in case Jose will submit. Looking for some kind of slam there. Ambrose pushes away Shelton Benjamin, but Benjamin's the one able to get something going here up in the fireman's carry position. And oh, dumped onto the ropes there. No Way Jose has not moved in some time. Shelton Benjamin starting to fire away with some good strikes here on Ambrose. Flying forearm shot on the lunatic fringe. Goes down. Jose with a counter. As he's back up to his feet now. Falcon Arrow to Shelton Benjamin, who rolls out of the ring here. No Way Jose, if he wants to become number one contender right now, is going to have to pin a former world champion. Ambrose just stuffed him there with that headbutt. Snap suplex. And the match is now going to roll out to the outside here. All three of them on the outside. This is where things could really break apart. Falls count anywhere not in effect. They have to get the pinfall or submission in the ring, but this is certainly where Ambrose is going to excel. With a lunatic can do anything to his advantage, but oh, Shelton Benjamin taking full advantage of that little mistake there by Ambrose. And with Jose on the outside, Shelton Benjamin could fully capitalize here and maybe even become the number one contender. And Shelton Benjamin now is in control in the ring over Dean Ambrose. Oh, spoke too soon there. The lunatic French fighting back. No Way Jose trying to recover on the outside still. Ambrose there with a hard elbow in the back of the neck, but the fight is still on between these two guys to try and become number one contender here. Ambrose with a neck breaker as Jose gets back in the ring. Those shots there by No Way Jose again. In this matchup we'll see them. And Jose, good suplex. Brings down Ambrose, the big man. Going up to that top rope. Uh-oh, what will Jose do here from all the way up high? Guillotine leg drop. Shelton Benjamin going to be feeling the full brunt of that one. Look at these. That was a bit sloppy there by both men, to be fair. And a back suplex will bring No Way Jose back down to the mat. All three of these men, you can see it within them, just want to be number one contender more than anything. They're bringing out all the stops here. And look at this from Benjamin now. Double underhook superplex. And Dean Ambrose is down. Oh, what a lariat there. Once again. Benjamin ran into that lariat. That was a result of his own problems. Ambrose now in trouble. Cutthroat side slam. Is this going to be another number one contendership for No Way Jose? No, Ambrose kicked at it too. Benjamin brought down, and he goes to the outside here. Leaving Ambrose and Jose to square off one-on-one with each other. This could be big for Dean Ambrose here. What a powerbomb to No Way Jose. Look at Ambrose go now. He's feeling some fire within him. Forearms flurrying away to No Way Jose here. Ambrose running amok in the ring. There's another forearm and a bulldog. And who takes over but Shelton Benjamin? Look at how No Way Jose can counter that quickly though, and Benjamin down on the down to his feet. DDT there, and Jose will go back outside of the ring. Oh, and Shelton Benjamin will bring us all back outside of the ring there by countering that lariat. Uh-oh. Benjamin has something in mind here. Ambrose trying to recover. No Way Jose still trying to recover as well on a running double axe handle there, brought down. Dean Ambrose. Like I said earlier, pinfalls have to count in the ring. It seems as if that is what is mattering most right now. Belly to belly there by Benjamin. Just abandoned Ambrose. Left him to stand there. I wouldn't have just left Dean Ambrose be. I would have maybe thought he could get the victory. I don't know. Dragon Sleeper locked in there on Jose, but... Oh! Paid it! Paid it to Ambrose! Could that be enough to make him #1 contender? He goes into the cover here. Dean Ambrose could be done for. Cover by Shelton Benjamin. Oh, and Ambrose kicks out of another finisher. Benjamin has to be enraged at this point. He is countering No Way Jose now. He is just going with a flurry of moves. He needs to be #1 contender. He knows that he needs to be #1 contender. Went for the drop kick and Jose got out of the way. Suplex to Benjamin. Dean Ambrose still down in the middle of the ring, but No Way Jose will look for victory. Cutthroat side slam. Can Ambrose stop it in time? 1, 2, 3. No Way Jose is the #1 contender to the NXT Global Championship. It was the man who said that he was sick of being overlooked, who brought about this triple threat, and it was that very man who was just defeated in the ring by No Way Jose. June 16th, the conga line will march into Chicago, and a fiesta will happen. But the big question is, will No Way Jose walk out of that evening NXT Global Champion or not? That is what we'll have to find out, and that is something that I do indeed look forward to. No Way Jose and Pete Dunne. That could very well be an interesting match indeed. I wonder how the Bruiserweight reacts to it after his use of words towards Jose last week. We'll see. Perhaps next week. Perhaps we won't even see until Chicago. Anyway, we're going to move on here. Just before our main event, I talked about it at the start of the show, and I talked about it not too long ago. Edge has some big news regarding the alleged attacks, the attempted attacks on Lio Rush to end his career. He has big news for us here, and I guess a special edition of the Cutting Edge is what we can call it. Edge is going to drop a big piece of information for us. Well, here comes Edge with whatever news he may well have for us. Like that, and the same thing he was wearing last week when he, 2 weeks ago, sorry, when he was talking to Lio Rush. Pretty much the same thing last week. It's okay, you know. I doubt he wears that every day, but what is running through Edge right now? What has he got to tell us? If it was so urgent that he needed the Cutting Edge here tonight, then what is it that Edge has to say to us? Oh, he's wasting no time. He's getting right to the point. Edge has, in his eyes, he's found the culprit. He's found the man responsible for what happened. He's found the man who took out Lio Rush all those months ago, and he's going to reveal it to the entire world here tonight. To Edge, there was only one man it could be. One man who could stoop to that low level. One man who could dare be so dangerous in his attempts to take out Lio Rush. Edge is accusing Matt Riddle of that attack. And no surprise, Matt Riddle has come out for his response, and he does not look best pleased about it. But he also looks a little bit, I imagine, you know, in his own way, a little bit chilled out. But this is, you know, this is a serious acquisition being made by Edge to accuse Matt Riddle. What basis does he have that it was Riddle? We don't even know yet. Riddle making his way out, though, to quickly say that for Edge to accuse him of this is disgusting. Him and Lio Rush are closer than most in that NXT locker room, and Edge believes that him and Rush, that he would do this to Lio Rush. What makes Edge think that? I mean, I can understand where Matt Riddle's coming from, and Edge just telling Riddle to shut up and listen to him, don't interrupt from now on. A few things are pretty obvious. One, the hair. Alright, he's actually got something there. The blonde at the bottom of his hair kind of gives away the fact that it was Matt Riddle. Not really gives it away, but there is much more than just simply hair. The way in which he attacked Lio Rush, the fact that he hid himself because everyone knows his face, the fact that he dressed himself up in something completely different to what he wears to the ring. This was cold, calculated, and thought through by Matt Riddle. He had this planned for a very long time, and he wanted us to make sure that no one knew it was him. Well, to Edge now, the game is up. He knows Riddle did it. He knows Riddle put it all together. And since this has been admitted, Lio Rush wants to sort things out with you. To a man he thought was closer than his friend, to a man he thought was more than a friend to him, this needs to be resolved. And Riddle has had no choice but to interrupt you. He is sick. This is disgusting to Matt Riddle for Edge to say these things. Do you really think he would do it to his bro Lio Rush? Do you really think this would happen? Do you really honestly think Matt Riddle would do it? He doesn't like the fact that he's being accused, but if he has to fight, then he has no choice. And look at Edge's response. Those are the words of a guilty man. And it will be Edge's pleasure to watch next week as Lio Rush takes care of Matt Riddle, as he takes him out and finishes this all. Matt Riddle, the game is up. You are being exposed. Riddle, you can tell from the look upon his face that he feels disgusted by this. But you heard Edge say it. Next week, things will be resolved. That means, I guess, next week, Lio Rush and Matt Riddle will go face to face. I mean, wow, just talk about a damning accusation by Edge there. He believes it was Matt Riddle, and I guess, you know, Lio Rush wants his revenge. He's going to get it next week, but that's pretty surreal if it was the case. I'm not too sure where I stand on that one. But anyway, we're going to move on now. It's time for our main event. And what a main event it is going to be. Cesaro against Pete Dunne here tonight to close things out in NXT. Hopefully we can get some calm after that huge announcement from Edge there. We shall see. Well, we move on here. Main event time. Cesaro and Pete Dunne one-on-one. This one's going to be a great main event. Regardless of all the drama we've seen here tonight and that accusation just made by Edge on Matt Riddle, which of course will be resolved next week, I guess. Cesaro, anyway, right now is going to get ready to square off against Pete Dunne, and he's out first here tonight. A big match here for Cesaro to prove himself, and a big win here if he is able to overcome. Oh my God, what the hell is this man doing here? What is Corin doing here? He's rushing down the ramp. Cesaro's none the wiser. Cesaro, turn around. Turn around. No, Corin just blasted him in the face with that belt. Oh, come on. Before the matchup can even begin, Corin just blasting at Cesaro. And Corin continues his brutal attack now. The main event didn't even get a chance to get started before the NXT champion, for whatever reason, starts going after Cesaro. And Cesaro is helpless here up on the shoulders of the champion. Oh my God, no, 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 no. Snake guys into the stairs. This is Corin's natural habitat here, being on the outside, being in amongst all the chaos. that he can have fun with, that he can get himself involved with. Cesaro is just completely almost knocked out on his feet. And Corin is victimizing him on the outside now. The NXT champion last week was bragging up the fact that he had nothing planned for Chicago. But it seems as if that the champ has done his best to make sure that he does have something planned for Chicago. Bringing in Cesaro now. Double underhook brain buster. Cesaro is... There's no other word for it. He's not even responding here. He's trying to get up to his feet, but to no avail. And the big ending of the clock strikes 12. Cesaro could even, Cesaro, like I said, he's out on his feet. He could even be concussed. But does that matter to Corin? Does it ever? The NXT champion back to his sick, demented ways. And look at this now. Look at this. Corin kneels in the ring as Cesaro is fallen behind him. For what reason did Corin do any of this? We don't know. But the sick smile from the NXT champion after it shows that he is proud of whatever he accomplishes. This is the face of NXT. It must be a disgusting time to be the NXT general manager. Corin's put himself on top of that mountain again, but know one thing. Cesaro is not going to let this slide. Another wild night of NXT action here, but once again, Corin makes sure the spotlight is all on him.